Israel is stepping up the fight to contain the spread of COVID-19. The country has already taken precautions, including banning foreigners from entering Israel and imposing a partial lockdown. Officials have now announced that the domestic intelligence agency Shin Bet will use cyber monitoring to follow citizens who have tested positive and those closest to them. The technology will also identify those who are suspected of being exposed to the virus and send messages telling them to self-isolate immediately. The decision comes despite concerns about breach of privacy.
There's some breach of privacy here. We need to balance between the right for privacy, which in normal times is a sacred right, and life. In normal times as well, as in times of emergency, civil rights are sacred. But we'll sacrifice a certain level of civil rights in order to save lives and prevent mass disaster.
To identify at-risk people, the Israeli government will comb through the geolocation data gathered from the country's telecommunications providers. The unprecedented use of surveillance was introduced under emergency regulations and without parliamentary supervision, as the Knesset Committee on Intelligence and Secret Services had not made a final decision on the matter. For many human rights activists, it's a breach of privacy that could be used by security agencies for political reasons. Palestinian human rights NGO Adala appealed successfully to the Israeli Supreme Court to stop the surveillance. But the court's decision only held up for a few days.
The security apparatus will say, I am using that for corona. Tomorrow, he will follow citizens based on political opinions. Other day will use it for their national affiliation in other emergency situation. So it's very, very dangerous from constitution perspective, from human rights perspective. I have to say that also the standards of UN say that in emergency you are not allowed to use surveillance such as those regulations proposed.
The intelligence agency is not subject to freedom of information law. As Israel tightens its coronavirus policies day by day, it seems Israelis must choose between privacy and public health. Mustafa Fatih Yavuz, TRT World, Occupied East Jerusalem.